No, you can't read my poker face. Hey! Alright, well, this is the June 7th? June 7th? And this is the Afterfight Afterthought on the Miguel Cotto Yuri Foreman fight. And I will go through and we'll do the Afterfight, which is Miguel Cotto, the winner, and Yuri Foreman, the loser, is the Afterthought. So let's see how that rolls. Okay, going into this fight, you have Miguel Cotto, who suffered two big losses in the past 3 years, or 2.5 years. One was disputable, and that was the one against Antonio Margarito. And the second one was against Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people were questioning his ability. Was he done? Is he washed up? He's only 29 years old. Is he still going to be able to continue fighting and fighting at a high level? Not only that, he's stepping up to the light middleweight class at 154 pounds. And is he going to have the ability to carry into the higher weights? Because it's not like he's 6 foot tall. And so a lot of these things are coming up in questions, and his durability issues and how he didn't look that great against Clottey even. So you had 3 questionable fights, in not quite in a row, but the Jennings fight really was just kind of there anyway. So it goes into the fight, and we go in and we see a Cotto who's not quite as fast as he used to be. He didn't look that fast to me, and I called the fight on Blog TV, for those of you who want to know. Anyway, watching the fight there, it seemed like he was sticking to a game plan. It had to have been, because he was a lot slower than what I'm used to seeing him. He didn't throw near as many punches as he normally does, and struggled a little bit with the range. You could see him. His power seems to have carried fairly well. He was landing a very solid, stiff jab when he was getting close enough to hit Foreman. Foreman has a bit of a dodgy knee. Cotto goes in, starts landing a lot more in the later rounds, takes Foreman out. And he lands a monster body shot, which wasn't that hard, seeing as how Foreman couldn't move away from him. So you have now it's the after fight, and you're going into it. How much credibility? The fight was close up until the 7th round, and while he won the fight, and I had him winning the fight going into the 7th round by 1 round. You have a situation now. How good is Foreman or Cotto? How good is Foreman? And will Cotto be able to do this with the bigger light middleweights? Because he fought the smallest, basically, of the light middleweight champions. The other guys pack some stank on their punches, and they're bigger guys. So he goes in against Foreman. How much do we take from this? Now, like I said, I saw the fight. I called the fight. I didn't see the boxing ability anymore. It seems like he's more flat-footed. He was looking more for the power shots. He was loading up a lot, and the boxing ability didn't seem. He wasn't doing it as much. Now, head movement was still there. He was getting hit with some good shots. He took some flush uppercuts and right hands from Foreman. But now, where does he stand? Where is he going to go from here? Well, obviously, it's opened up. A lot of fights have opened up for him. Maybe there will even be a Mosley rematch, possibly after seeing what happened there. There might be I don't want to see him rematch against Margarito, because I don't think Margarito should ever fight again. But in reality, that fight is opened up for him. Pacquiao rematch, absolutely not. There's and then the 154 title fights, and obviously the rematch with Yuri Foreman. So all these are on the table for him. I never said he was washed up. I just said how many miles are left in the tank. Looks like he's got a couple more left, and it's opened up for him. He's got a title now at 154, so he's obviously going to be in line to fight some of those guys. Maybe even go against the stage diver Kermit, the Frog Cintron there. Try that one out for size. Okay, now going on into the Afterthought. Here you got a fighter who's long been criticized for his lack of power, Yuri Foreman, and it unfortunately seems like most people are focusing on his religion as opposed to his actual boxing abilities. Now, he wasn't didn't have the greatest resume of fighters coming into this fight against. He did win against Salvador Martin. He had a very convincing win over, I believe it was Daniel Santos. So he's at 154. He can box. Now the questions are: he doesn't have the power. Does he have the heart? Is he going to be able to go in there and hang with Cotto, or is he just going to get blown out of the water? And that's a lot of pressure on a guy that's the light middleweight champion fighting a guy whose first fight is going to be at light middleweight. So he's got a lot of pressure coming on him going into the fight. The fight happens, and he's hanging, and then in the first or second round there, you can see his knee gets a bit dodgy. And if you had listened, I was on Blog TV and I called the fight. Again, you have it. You can see there's something wrong with that knee, and he wears a knee brace on. It's a previous injury, so we don't know how bad it was already injured before even going into the fight. Not making excuses. He was hanging on his own. He was getting outpunched. What I mean by that is Cotto was obviously stronger than him. When they were exchanging, if they threw at the same time, Cotto won those every time because of the power. You would see him actually physically move away from Cotto, from the punches that Cotto was landing on him. He was able to box when he was moving around. He was keeping his distance, and he was keeping the fight close. As I said, I had it 3-2 with one a draw in favor of Cotto going into the 7th round. As it goes on further, next thing you know, his knee gives out. He's not willing to quit. He wants to keep fighting. His mobility's gone, and that's not his fight style. He can no longer dance. He can no longer shuck and jive, and now he's getting hit with everything but the kitchen sink. He still wants to fight. The ref, they think the fight gets thrown. He still wants to fight, and that's good for him. He showed heart, but where does he go from here? Well, obviously now I think the writing's on the wall. He's not going to beat the top elite 154 guys. Not that there's a whole lot of them out there, especially now since Martinez moved up to 160. But he does have the rematch with Cotto. He does have a possible fight with Cintron. Cintron's always going to be out there just because he's a decent fighter, but maybe he goes up against a Paul Williams. You see what I mean? So these fights open up for him, and we'll see where it goes from there. But he took a big hit in this one, because he was, in Cotto's, in all fairness to Cotto, he was losing that fight. So the knee implication and then getting dropped with that massive left hook, kind of summing it up for him. He's good, but he's not championship good. And we'll see about that. And we can't blame the knee, because the knee is part of boxing. A knee is part of your body, and if parts fail, you fail. That's how it is. Nobody said this was hey, let's get together and give each other a quick hug and a peck on the cheek and leave. No, you're getting punched in the face. This is a rough business. So that's how I see it with the Afterfight Afterthought. I might do a round by round on it. It's not too big. After the 6th round when Yuri hurt his knee, it was pretty much all Cotto beating the hell out of him for 3 rounds. Okay, so there's the Afterfight Afterthought. Let me know what you think. Please give me your comments, rate, subscribe. Visit my YouTube channel for those of you seeing this that aren't on YouTube. And I'll probably put it right there or something, like a box right here. I don't know. So, alright, hey, have a great day. This is Bigragu. I'm out.